Hello, namaste and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Asa and in this video I am going to give quite a detailed summary of the book that I read, that is The Art of Storytelling by, I really am not sure about the author right now, but I'll let you know. In this book, author talks about the importance of storytelling. Why is it important for us to be a master storyteller? He says that everyone who is a leader in his or her field is a great storyteller. He gives us an example of Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Oprah Winfrey, and many more. But the one quality that they all have in common is they are very good at storytelling. So if you want to master this art of storytelling, do continue watching this video because I'll be sharing the tips that author has given us in this book. So the book starts with a quote. As Steve Jobs said, people with passion can change the world for better. It's only people who have passion, who are actually passionate about something, do have the capability to make a change in the world and make this world a better place for our future generation and us. So the art and science of storytelling, that is exactly what we'll be studying in this video. So if inspiring storytellers did not exist, the world would be a very different place today. He gives us an example of British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. At the time of World War II, when Nazi Germany had conquered quite a few parts of Western Europe, and even England had resigned to the power of Nazi Germany, there came a guy, Winston Churchill. Although he wasn't very kind to our country while the colonization period, but let's see the story. So in this story, he gave a speech where he turned around people's opinion on resigning to Nazi Germany. He said, "Our aim is victory at all cost. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory regardless of how long and hard the road may be. Without victory, there's no survival." And that is what motivated the people to take out their sword and fight for the nation instead of just giving into Nazi Germany. So that's how important the skill of storytelling is. Actually, the skill of communication in general is extremely important, and wow, means if it motivates the entire country to, instead of resigning, to just fight. So it's great. And he says that even people who were great storytellers, he gives an example of Jesus, that he was a great storyteller. We can say Krishna, he was also a great storyteller. But apart from that, Job, Musk, Oprah Winfrey, Churchill had stage fright at the beginning. So one isn't really a born, actually there are people who are a born storyteller, but there can be people who aren't really born storyteller but make themselves better with practice. The more you practice, the more better you get at it. I mean, I can tell you, I had faced stage, but I was extremely all the time. I would just get all stuck. I would just, okay, next. He says storytelling is a building block of a communication. Why do your friends like you? How do you connect with your friends, your family members, dinner table conversations, or anyone? You connect with them through stories. Facts and information only go to head, but story goes to heart. And something that triggers your emotion is something that is very important and makes your heart sing. So this is a famous phrase by Steve Jobs. What makes your heart sing? I have heard this in a lot of, I guess, Spotify advertisement. What makes your heart sing? What is it that ignites their inner fire? It's a story. Story means it can be different thing for everyone, but story is one of the means that makes everyone happy. We all like listening to stories, be it ghost stories, movies, films, tapetale.com, anything, books, Bible, Gita, Quran, everything is nothing but a story. Story teaches you lesson, story touches your heart, story is everywhere. So, he talks about Steve Jobs, that how exactly did he motivated the CEO of Pepsi. I really am not sure about the designation, but he was, I think, the CEO of Pepsi. He asked him that, do you wanna sell sugar for the rest of your life, or you wanna do something and make a change? And this was enough. So as they say, having a great idea is not really enough. You have to package your idea in a way that it impacts people and it moves them. And then further, the writer talks about how Steve Jobs, his charisma is absolutely legendary. He has a legendary ability to convince people. Where does that comes from? That comes from practice. And few people are just gifted sometimes, okay? So the legendary ability to captivate the audience. Jobs, his presentations is something that we can refer to, because he is considered as one of the master presenters. Okay? And then passion is contagious. Passion is irresistible. Passion is something that ignites the inner fuel. As George Bernard Shaw said, life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. The secret to success is to find something you love so much that you can't wait for the sun to rise and do it all over again. And then further, the writer says that factual information don't make a story. What makes your heart sing? What are the things that trigger emotion? Is a story. And then the valuable lesson, he shares a valuable lesson about success, which says, story of your life is a blank slate. You are the author, the one ultimately in charge of crafting a narrative. Customers buy from the people that they are comfortable with. Customers buy from the people who are like their friends, and friends don't sell, they tell a story. And he says that it is extremely important for us to be bold, to exhibit confidence no matter where we go, regardless of nervousness. Nervousness isn't really something that is only happening to you. Everyone faces nervousness, but it is your confidence that is hugely responsible for success. I had heard this saying which stated that success is 70% confidence and 30% what you know, your intelligence and stuff like that. And then the writer speaks about Mark Bernard and his biography. I mean, you can refer to his biography, that is Jump It. What would appeal their brain? All success begins with the ability to sell something. We need to sell our way through life. We need to sell ourselves in terms of how good we are. When we go for an interview, we have to sell ourselves to people around us that, you know, we are worthy and we can do something. All of that. And initially, not all stories worked. I mean, practice makes man perfect. For not for everyone. I mean, it's not necessary, you know, that you'll just come and shine. You come, you learn, and you shine. So initially, not all story. He talks about Mark Bernard, who told him that he is a masterful storyteller, and he says that initially not all his stories worked. He would practice telling a story at a dinner table conversation. Sometimes people would lean in, would be like, oh my god, what is he talking about? Or sometimes they would just get bored or even just go to sleep. But the more he practiced, the better he got at it. One needs to have an unshakable belief in your abilities. Even if you're not good at it, just when you start something, you might just find your way along. For example, I wasn't really in a mood to shoot this video because I feel that I'm not that prepared right now, but I don't know what to do. I'm just feeling extremely lousy right now, and I don't want to waste away my time like this. And it's been almost a 6 month ever since I made any video, so I was like, no, I'm going to I will make a video. Who knows, I might just find my way along. What if you're in a class of 100 people and someone just asks you to present something in front of people? You'd be impromptu, right? So right now I'm making a very impromptu video. I mean, I've just read the book, I have taken out all the points and I'm presenting. So I hope I'll do a good job. And yeah, so one should have an unshakable belief in their abilities. Start working, even if you don't know where it would lead. If you hop on the bus, you will get somewhere, or else you will be just stuck at the train station forever. I mean, this is true for almost all of my videos. I was never prepared. I used to prepare, but you know, there are people who study the entire year, still they aren't really prepared on the day of examination. So believe in your abilities. You have studied hard. Now it's time to make a video. Okay, so that is exactly what I'm doing right now. Trust your gut and intuition. It always tells you the truth. Sometimes it doesn't, but it will most of the time. The path isn't always clearly laid out. That's alright. You'll be guided along the way. Chal pado pahunch jaoge, as they say in Hindi. Relentless optimism is also one of the things that all these people, Oprah Winfrey, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Bernard Shaw, all these people, Winston Churchill, all these people have this relentless optimism in their capabilities, in their abilities, and that they can achieve things, they can go places, and they all have an audacity to dream big, audacity to lead nations, audacity, just go for it attitude. They pursue you have to pursue and articulate your idea even when world punches you in the nose. And he talks about this guy Mark Bernard, who is a famous producer of even more famous shows like The Survivor, Shark Tank, The Voice, The Bible. When people actually punched him in the nose and told him that Survivor won't even survive a day, but it did. And then people will say a lot of things, but you also have to make sure that you're not just blindly riding a horse. You need to practice. Okay, maybe I too need to practice. I know that I need to practice. I will practice. This is my practice video. Inshallah, one day I'll be proud of it. Next, so new ideas are often met with skepticism. Just go ahead, do it anyways. And then conquer the stage fright. How exactly do we conquer the stage fright? The answer is simple: practice. Practice makes man perfect. And if man can write, okay, so here's a quote: if man can write a better book, preach a better sermon, the world would make a path to its door. It's, I guess, by Ralph Waldo Emerson. I really am not sure. Maybe. Sometimes adversities punches you into your divine destiny. Hosting center, Joe Hosting, 10 years, self-efficacy, internal dialogue. Practice helps you to refine your story. Okay, yeah. So, Joe Hosting. 1 second. Got it. So this is okay. So I have decided This is a video to my future self. Future self, I know you're doing great, but yeah, you will like this too, I am sure. Okay, so this is a story about Joe Hosting. So Joe Hosting was a son of a person who preaches sermon in the church. So this guy's father dies, and he always had a stage fright, Joe Hosting, and he thinks that he would never be able to be as phenomenal as his father, because whenever he would get on stage, he would just start speaking very fast and would get extremely nervous, sweaty palms, things like that. It took him 10 years to be proficient with the way he was speaking. He never thought that he could be as amazing as his father, but with practice he could do it. I mean, all of a sudden one day his father died, and he was the one who went for the sermon, and then he heard people talking amongst themselves that he might not ever be able to be as good as his father, and it did really hurt him, but he did not give in to his fear. Instead, he showed some assurance in his capabilities. So that's what practice helps you to refine your story. It helps you to build your story on a clean slate. Albert Bandura, he was a psychologist who talks about self-efficacy, internal dialogue. So earlier this guy Joe Hosting used to have a very negative self-talk with himself, wherein he would just bash himself that I'm not good at this, I can never be good as good as my father, and things like that. But rather, but after a while he was like, okay, maybe I can if I practice. So he used to practice for 6 hours straight, and then after 10 years he preached in Yankee Stadium, and the whole stadium was full, and which was a great opportunity for him. Successful people believe in their abilities to accomplish their dreams. High assurance, you have to have high assurance in your capabilities. Approach difficult tasks as a challenge to be mastered and not as a threat to be avoided. If you want to be successful, raise your hands more, ask more questions, overcome failure, overcome your fears, work hard, be consistent, work hard even when you hear criticism, even when you know that you're not very good, but trying is the only way to be good. So try. And then he shares a story of a rock star. His name is Sting. He is a songwriter. He's a songwriter, and I have heard his song. It's phenomenal. So if you are a music enthusiast like me, you need to hear this guy. He's really good. So Sting was a great rock star. He was born to a poor family. He used to live on a shipyard, and all day long he would keep staring at people. He would build stories in his head and would think, where do these characters come from, what their life must have had been like. So yeah, that's why he became an excellent songwriter. And as most people who do not have very good neighborhood swear in their childhood, swear to God, once I get successful, I'm not coming to this place. That's the kind of promise he had made to himself. But and one day he saw this people, rich people going, and he was like, I was meant to be with, I was born to be with guys like this. I'm the one who needs to be going places, and I'll be the one who will go places. I'll be the one who meets important people like president, actors, people who are doing great, things like that. And he becomes a famous rock star one day. But then something happens. He goes into a chronic writer's block, and this block was not a very easy one to get out of. Means he struggled for weeks, months, days, years. And then one day he realized that when he used to live on a shipyard, he used to write songs about the people he knew, or he used to watch. So he went back on the dock, on the shipyard, and he just firstly made a list of number of people he knew, gave them a backstory, wrote songs on them, and became a famous songwriter and rock star again. So that's how building stories are extremely important. So a good storyteller helps people figure out not only what matters in the world, but why it matters. Mary Popova. What have I done wrong? I mean, when he was struggling through the writer's block, he used to wonder, what have I done? What on earth have I done wrong? Why has God of talents abandoned me like this? And he used to write songs on joys, hopes, frustration, people, drunkards, etc. And then, while building a character, you should know where they are coming from, because if you don't know where exactly are they coming from, you won't know where exactly are they going. Great writer, expert backstory. All the great writers have expertise in giving the characters a backstory, like Haruki Murakami. And then, done for the day. Bye.